Hey guys, Aaron CybertronVGC here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online regulation H VGC ladder in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and provide live commentary as I go. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing a really unique combination in Eviolite Anger Point Primeape with Flower Trick Meowscarada. The idea is that Meowscarada's Flower Trick always gets critical hits, so when you pair it with Primeape's Anger Point, you'll be able to get yourself to +6 attack immediately. Primeape is Steel Terra in order to take less damage from the Flower Trick, and once you get the +6 attack off, you can start healing yourself up with Drain Punch while also doing damage with Rage Fist and also disrupting with Taunt. It's such a unique combination, and I've really seen no one use Primeape in this format, and even Meowscarada is not very common right now, and so I'm really excited to feature it. As always, I'll do a quick breakdown of the team, but if you want to just skip to the battles, check out the timestamps down below, and thanks so much as always for joining me. If you enjoy, I'd really appreciate if you consider leaving a like in the video or subscribing to the channel. It really helps out a ton. I've been featuring all kinds of fun and unique strategies on the channel recently. We just featured Belly Drum, Custap Berry Snorlax, as well as Ariados and Trevenant and Chandelure, as well as a team with Avalugg and Tentacruel. So if you want to see all these wacky Pokemon, check out all those videos down in the description below as well. But let's get started with today's video. If you're interested in trying out the team, the rental code is on the screen, and there's also an accompanying Pokepaste down in the description below. This team utilizes a very unique combo in Meowscarada as well as Primeape. Primeape has the ability Anger Point, which allows you to get to +6 attack when you are hit by a critical hit. Meowscarada's Flower Trick guarantees a critical hit every time you use it, so when you go for the self-target Flower Trick onto Primeape, you'll activate your Anger Point and immediately get up to +6 attack. Drain Punch allows you to then heal off all the damage that you've done to yourself with Flower Trick. Rage Fist is a move that can slowly stack up damage here, and Taunt is really valuable for disruption. The rest of the team features a lot of very powerful sets, such as Loaded Dice Dragonite with Skill Shot, Power Herb Sturdy Archaludon with Stellar Terra and Electro Shot, Never Melt Ice Ninetales with Aurora Veil, as well as Encore to support the Primeape even more, and Assault Vest Incineroar. Breaking down the individual Pokemon, the first one that I have to talk about is Primeape. Question of the day, by the way, inspired by Primeape, I want to know if you could create an evolution for an existing Pokemon, what would you create and how would you create it down in the comment section below. Primeape is being used over Annihilape here because of Eviolite and of course Anger Point. Anger Point allows you to get to max attack when you're hit by a critical hit, so it's particularly valuable because Meowscarada here has Flower Trick, which is guaranteed to crit you. Flower Trick actually does damage, so that's why you've got the Steel Terra on Primeape to take less damage. You can take a Flower Trick without Terra, but you obviously will lose a lot of your HP, so you want to be sure that you can heal back that damage done with Drain Punch afterwards. Once you go for that side Flower Trick, you can go for Drain Punch or Rage Fist immediately, and both of these at +6 attack will threaten a lot of one-hit knockouts. Drain Punch is the move that I like to use a little bit more frequently because I really value that recovery. It feels really bad when you damage your own Pokemon, and even a Flower Trick into Steel Terra Primeape will still hurt, so Drain Punch is a really nice way to just heal that damage that you've done to yourself back. Rage Fist is unique here. It's interesting because you normally obviously see it on Annihilape. You don't have something to actually stack up the Rage Fist very quickly, but the reality is a base 100 power Rage Fist when you're at +6 attack will get a lot of one-hit knockouts. So of course the main combo that you often want to go for is Meowscarada plus Primeape, go for that Steel Terra, Self-Flower Trick, and then Drain Punch or Rage Fist immediately. You've also got Taunt and Protect on this moveset, so you're able to disrupt opposing Pokemon that might want to set up, or go for example, Spore with the Mungus, and Protect is really valuable to ensure that you can get some switches with this team and get some defensive pivoting while protecting your Primeape. The Primeape here is basically max HP, max speed, near max speed. With this amount of speed investment, you're outspeeding base 90 Pokemon, so critically opposing Annihilape, for example, you'll be able to outpace and just threaten with the one-hit knockout with the Self-Flower Trick into Rage Fist play. Meowscarada here is really straightforward. It's just max attack, max speed, jolly nature. Ghost Terra here just allows you to get around Fake Out on turn 1. And for example, if your opponent leads Incineroar, they might just try to Fake Out Meowscarada. You can just Ghost Terra and then go for Self-Flower Trick and then heal all of the damage you do to Primeape back with a Drain Punch onto Incineroar, for example. Sucker Punch, good for priority and threatens just for good damage overall. And Knockoff is a consistent attack on Meowscarada as well. So this Pokemon is honestly a little bit underplayed in this regulation, and part of that is because, of course, Steel-type Pokemon are everywhere. Pokemon like King Gambit can wall Meowscarada. Incineroar is still quite common as well, but it's really nice when paired with the Primeape, and with that Focus Sash can actually be kind of annoying to deal with for a lot of opposing teams. The rest of the team are relatively standard Pokemon that we've seen in this format, but with some different twists. This is a Steel Terra Dragonite with Iron Head rather than Extreme Speed. The Iron Head here is really valuable into Fairy type Pokemon, which is important because Fairy types can be kind of annoying for Primeape to deal with. And so with that Steel Terra, you'll be able to not only have a good defensive Terra, but also threaten good damage with Iron Head. Otherwise, classic loaded dice Scale Shot. This set's everywhere in the format right now. Haze in particular is a very mandatory move when you're going up against Thundozo teams, so you'll definitely want to bring this into Ladozo matchup. You've got Assault Vest Incineroar here with a lot of attack investment. This Pokemon just does a lot of damage and can safely switch into a lot of attacks as well. You, of course, have Intimidate and Fake Out with it and can also Disrupt with U-Turn. Knockoff and Flare Blitz also just do a lot of damage, especially since this Incineroar is fairly offensive. Archaludon is the Power Herb Sturdy Stellar Terra set here with Flash Cannon, Electroshock, Aura Sphere, and Protect. The idea behind the Archaludon is that it threatens a lot of Pokemon that Primeape might otherwise have trouble with, and with that Sturdy, you can lead something like Meowscarada plus the Archaludon and have two Pokemon that can survive big attacks thanks to both Sturdy and Focus Sash. Stellar Terra allows you to get a really powerful Electroshot off, and of course allows you to boost the damage output of Flash Cannon and Aura Sphere as well, and you don't need a defensive Terra as much because you're basically running the very frail set here on Archaludon with no bulk on it whatsoever. Finally, you've got Ice Terra Alolan Ninetales with Never Melt Ice as well as Blizzard, and you've got Encore and Aurora Veil. It's interesting because basically the Ninetales here does a ton of damage. Ice Terra, Never Melt Ice, Blizzard is really valuable into, for example, the Dragon-type Pokemon that are in the format, like Dragonite as well as Garchomp and Dragapult. Encore and Aurora Veil are both really valuable moves. Encore, of course, for Disruption, and Aurora Veil to just become even bulkier. For example, if you're able to set up Aurora Veil and then you've got the Primeape under Aurora Veil when it's already stacked up at +6 attack and it can heal back up with Drain Punch, it's really, really scary to deal with. In terms of ways to play with the team, the main mode to consider, of course, is the Meowscarada Primeape lead, and with this, you can consider something like any combo of 2 of the 4 in the back. I think I often just want to prioritize offense and things that can beat the things that Primeape is otherwise walled by. Incineroar obviously gives you Intimidate, but Dragonite just does a ton of damage, as does Archaludon. Ninetales here is frail, as you'll notice. It doesn't have any bulks, and obviously only has 1 offensive attack, but Blizzard in Snow is really strong, so if your opponent doesn't have a ton of resistances, then it is a really valuable Pokemon to bring out. You could also just play offensively. Like, Primeape is not going to be able to come out into every matchup. If, for example, your opponent has Ghost-type Pokemon that allows them to resist or become immune to a Drain Punch, you can obviously Rage Fist them, but basically, like, if Primeape, you go for the Self-Flower Trick play, and then you end up attacking into a defensive Terra, and you just lose Primeape afterwards, that can feel really, really bad. Obviously, Redirection can also prevent the Self-Flower Trick, so Follow Me from something like Magmar, Indeedee, as well as Electabuzz can be annoying, so there are definitely times where you don't want to just go with this lead combo immediately, and you have a lot of offense, right? Like Archaludon, Meowscarada, something I talked about. Instant Dragonite allows you to fake out Scale Shot and then get a speed boost while also doing a lot of damage immediately, and you just have a ton of offense, so there's a lot of different combinations. For example, Meowscarada, Dragonite, Archaludon, Dragonite, Ninetales. Really pick 2 of the 4 basically between Meowscarada, Dragonite, Archaludon, and Ninetales, and you have a lot of offensive pressure with those. Meowscarada in particular, though, a really valuable lead because of how fast it is. In terms of things to watch out for, there are a fair number of things that can counter Meowscarada and Primeape. First of all, Redirection can be annoying, right? Follow Me from things like Magmar, Electabuzz, and Indeedee will redirect the Flower Trick away, and if Primeape does not have Anger Point activated, it's going to feel really useless, because then, like, you're just going for Drain Punches with the base 105 attack Pokemon with no attack investment, basically. So Redirection is a big one. Primeape is also threatened by Pokemon that can just knock it out after you eat up the Self-Flower Trick before Primeape moves. This Pokemon is fairly fast at base 95 speed, but you have to be careful about the really speedy Pokemon. I had one matchup, for example, where my opponent had the Sneasler and just close combated me as I went for Steel Terra, and then I went Self-Flower Trick, close combat, KO me, I lost my Terra, and the game basically felt like it was nearly impossible to win from that position. So that's something to watch out for as well. Focus Sash and defensive Terras can be really scary for this Pokemon as well, because the goal often is to Drain Punch and heal back the damage that you do to yourself, but let's say you go for the Self-Flower Trick play, your opponent switches in something like a Ghost-type Pokemon or Ghost Terra as you Drain Punch, and then their other Pokemon just KOs you. That can feel really, really bad, so that's something to be careful about. Focus Sash is a valuable item as well. Of course, you'll be able to heal back with the Drain Punch, but something surviving and then getting a critical attack against a Primeape in return can be really scary. And I find that Steel Terra is something that you can take advantage of, right? Going for powerful fire, ground, or fighting type attacks can be really scary. The team creator also mentioned a couple of Pokemon like has given them trouble, including Blaziken, Whimsicott, Dragonite, Salamence, and Scarf Gholdengo. All of those, if positioned properly, can give the team a good bit of trouble. I also ran into some trouble with like flying type damage in general. Having played a match into Talonflame where it was scary because Talonflame could like threaten Meowscarada with dual Wing Beat. It could Flare Blitz or Brave Bird into the Primeape, even Will-O-Wisp if it was carrying it, for example. And so, yeah, I think like if you shut down the Primeape strategy, this Pokemon can really just feel like dead weight. So it's sometimes I would say high risk, high reward. It just feels very satisfying when you are able to get the combo off, but there are a fair number of things that can give it trouble. And then you obviously have Rage Fist for coverage into ghost type Pokemon, but I definitely have had games where I like Drain Punch to try to recover something. My opponent switches into ghost type and then I'm like really far behind in the game. And then I mentioned Dragonite earlier, but it's annoying because even with like a stacked up Primeape, Dragonite resists fighting type attacks. So Pokemon that just resist fighting or immune to fighting can be scary because yeah, you just aren't able to get that recovery off, and it makes it harder for Primeape to sustain itself for a long time. But those are a couple of things that I wanted to call out. Okay, we've got Sneasler, Electabuzz, Gholdengo, Rillaboom, Dragonite, King Gambit. I see a bunch of issues for Primeape here. Electabuzz being one of them. Sneasler could be annoying, Dragonite's annoying. I'm interested in our Dragonite here. What if I went Meowscarada Primeape? It's mainly like, I don't know, Electabuzz, Sneasler that could be annoying. Electabuzz Gholdengo could be spooky. Dragonite Archaludon is an option. I feel like Instant should probably come out into this one, actually. I think I'm down for Meowscarada Primeape still. And then we can pivot out of it depending on what they lead. Instant Dragonite. Our Archaludon is not great into Rillaboom, Electabuzz. And I don't have Dragon Pulse for Dragonite either. So we'll go with this. Let's see. What do I think they're going to lead? It'd be great if they didn't lead Electabuzz. But even if they lead Electabuzz, I can taunt it. So it's not the end of the world. I can also remove its Eviolite. Oh, it is Gholdengo Electabuzz. Okay. That's one of the leads I mentioned. Interesting. I mean, I could steal Terra here. You know what I actually want to do is protect, steal Terra, taunt into you. This way I can serve Focus Sash, and then next turn, I also survive Make It Rain. Next turn I can go for Self Flower Trick into Drain Punch. I'm thinking here you just go for Follow Me. It could be Follow Me, Make It Rain, or Follow Me, Nasty Plot. Maybe it was an opportunity to actually get rid of the Eviolite with knockoff since I had Focus Sash here, but I was worried about something like Electro Web. Okay, so they're not going to Terra, which makes me think it should be a Follow Me or a Protect. Yep, it is Follow Me. Okay, fine by me. Ideally, they go for Nasty Plot right now, and then next turn I can just Flower Trick, Make It Rain. Or sorry, Rage Fist. Yep, it is going to be the Nasty Plot. Okay. They could switch in Rilla is my concern, so I'm definitely going to Flower Trick right now. This could Terra? Huh. Because basically you're also threatened by Meowscarada, right? Knockoff into this. So I would expect Gholdengo to actually Terra here. Or just switch out. I think the safe play is Flower Trick into this and then just Drain Punch into Electabuzz. Yep, so they pivot. Sneasler comes out, fine by me. Nice. Okay, this was a huge turn to get right. Because now I pressure with Sucker Punch and Rage Fist. And Drain Punch should bring Sneasler down to Focus Sash. Okay, Anchor Point's activated. Here's Drain Punch. Cool. I think I probably want to just double protect this next turn. Could switch an Instant though. But I lean towards double protecting here. Yeah. Cool. I was mainly worried they might like switch into Electabuzz here. That probably indicates Fake Out into Meowscarada. But it means this next turn I can just knock off and Rage Fist. Yep, Fake Out into Meowscarada. Although they didn't really respect the Rage Fist this turn. Shadow Ball into us here. I think Gholdengo probably protects again here, but it might Terra. But I'm gonna go for knockoff into you. Rage Fist into you. I was hoping they would Terra so I could just Drain Punch them. If I had actually just clicked Rage Fist there, I would have been fine, but I didn't want to eat up Fake Out onto the Primeape slot. And one of the cool things about Meowscarada is being faster than the max speed Sneasler, since Unburden isn't active. Yep, it is going to be Terra now, okay. So I thought about Drain Punching here, but it's going to be Terra Gholdengo, Terra Water, yep. I'm not sure +6 Rage Fist does it here, since I'm only base 100, but let's see. Okay, we knock out Sneasler. Cool. I mean, Terra Water Gholdengo is obviously incredibly weak into Flower Trick as well. So here's the Rage Fist. See if it KOs. Yes, it does. Beautiful. Okay. I did not think Meowscarada plus Primeape would be this effective, but the taunt was huge, and them committing to Nasty Plot was also huge. Like, we basically haven't taken damage since I was able to heal back with that Drain Punch. And it's Gambit in the back. Perfect. So if it's Gambit, I think we can just go knock off into Electabuzz, Drain Punch. Got Instant Dragonite in the back. Those are actually very bad choices in the grand scheme of things, but I brought it mainly to deal with Rilla Dragonite. But I think knock off into this and Drain Punch into this is fine. Yeah, and my opponent just forfeits. That, yeah, basically played out perfectly for us. My main concern was I wasn't sure if the +6 Rage Fist was guaranteed to knock out into the Gholdengo, since Primeape doesn't really have attack investment, but it just demolished it there. So I was a little bit spooked out because of the Electabuzz being led, but them going for Follow Me, trying to protect the Gholdengo, allowed us to go for the taunt, and once the taunt is active, I was able to have a really good turn when Electabuzz switched out into the Sneasler and Gholdengo protected, because Gholdengo totally could have attacked that turn, but I figured it was really risky to attack when you're staring down both the Primeape and the Meowscarada. Once we got that down, and the fact that we actually didn't activate the Focus Sash on Sneasler was huge to prevent Unburden from activating, then I could just knock off to safely finish off that slot, and Primeape having the speed advantage was amazing. And that's part of the reason why it's actually a really cool pick in this format. It's faster than all of those Pokemon in like the base 80 to 90 range, right? So your Gholdengos, your Archaludons, your Annihilapes, being able to outspeed all of those and threaten them with a one-hit knockout is huge. That's a Slowpoke. Okay. And a Snorlax. I just featured Snorlax on the channel, so it's really cool to go up against it here. We've got Slowpoke Torkoal. Like, I wonder if it's weakness policy Torkoal with Slowpoke. I used Slowpoke back in Sword and Shield for a video with, like, Heal Pulse and to activate weakness policy on Torkoal. But then we've got Flamigo, Hisuian, Lilligant, Electabuzz, all which are pretty fast Pokemon, and a Snorlax. I think I'm down for the Meowscarada Primeape lead. And then in the back, Incineroar with Intimidate and Fake Out seems good in case Trick Room gets set up. Can I see myself getting an Aurorville up with this? Because I think I would maybe prefer Archaludon thanks to Sturdy. Ninetales isn't bad offensively, though, honestly, with Never Melt Ice. So, okay, let's give this a shot. The dream for this team is when you can activate Primeape, Meowscarada faints, Ninetales comes out, sets up Aurora Veil for the Primeape, and then Primeape just continuously KOs things while healing with Drain Punch. We'll see if we can actually accomplish that here. But a lot of cool Pokemon on my opponent's end. It's going to be Slowpoke Electabuzz, okay. Given this, it's probably Follow Me on turn 1. So I'd like to Knock Off into you and Taunt into you. Yep. This puts Electabuzz in a really tough spot on turn 2. Get rid of your Mentorb. It's not even Eviolite because the Eviolite's on the Slowpoke. That's fascinating. Okay. Well, now they are presumably going to switch Electabuzz out into Torkoal, maybe? The speed order is being reversed is a little bit awkward because I can't self-Flower Trick as easily. I can still get it activated. And I think I'm still down to go for it. Do I want to Terra yet? Yeah, I think just to survive. Self-Flower Trick. Terra you. Drain Punch you. Slowpoke's the one to switch out, okay? It could be a double switch here. Into Torkoal, yep. And they're going to stay in with Electabuzz, okay. Not the way I envisioned the switching, but it's fine by me. Especially with Incineroar, the idea is this next turn I can protect, and then switch in Incin, and then fake out Drain Punch, and then protect again. It's gonna just struggle. It does target the Meowscarada, which breaks my Sweet Drain Punch Electabuzz. It breaks my Focus Sash, unfortunately, but that's fine. And here's the Self-Flower Trick now. Okay. I Terra'd here because I figured I'm gonna faint to a Fire-type attack from Torkoal anyway, so I might as well just take less damage. I didn't feel the need to Terra what I had in the back. Although I guess Terra Archaludon with Stellar wasn't terrible. But Slowpoke comes out. Yep. I think here I'm actually content just going for Sucker Punch onto Torkoal and then Protect. So that I get the free switching into Incin. Yeah, this also decreases eruption damage. It should be Fire Terra here. That would be my guess. Fire Terra and then use like Surf to activate Weakness Policy is what I'm thinking happens here. Yep, there's the Fire Terra. My question is what item the Torkoal has. I wasn't confident on the Incineroar surviving. Okay, it's just Helping Hand. That's fine. So we're going to Protect here. There's Sucker Punch onto Torkoal. I'm hoping it's Choice Specs on that. Because if it specs with Incin out, I can just Fake Out plus Drain Punch you for a knockout. And then Protect on the last turn of Trick Room. Okay, so we faint now. Let's bring out Incineroar. Assault Vest Incin, super good into these two right now. It's Oblivious, but not relevant here. Double check the field state, 2 turns of Trick Room. They don't have a way to block the priority here either. So, yep, I'm just going to go Fake Out here and Drain Punch here. It could be Charcoal Torkoal with Protect. If they go for Protect, though, it's still fine. I can just Protect on the final turn of Trick Room, knock off, remove Eviolite from the Slowpoke. And, yep, no Protect comes out. Beautiful. They're going to Heal Pulse, which is fine. Like, this is still a +6 Drain Punch. And even if they survive, I don't even mind. This is the classic issue of, like, Slowpoke just not being able to put on offensive pressure at all. So, Torkoal does manage to survive the turn, but we heal back up. Cool. They'll probably Heal Pulse again. I could U-turn. Ooh, I actually like U-turn here. I can U-turn into the Torkoal just to make sure. Let Drain Punch KOs. And then protect with this. Because then what I can do is bring out Ninetales and then Encore the Slowpoke so that it doesn't set up Trick Room again. Yep, so they heal Pulse again, but that's fine. Yep, Eruption comes out, but with the Assault Vest here on Instant, I'll take it pretty comfortably. Okay. Nice. Yeah, take that like a champ. You turn into Torkoal. Cool. So Drain Punch should be a knockout onto that now. And critically, I get the Ninetales out, so I can just Encore the Slowpoke. So I wonder if they consider switching the Torkoal slot out right now, but I really don't want Trick Room getting set up again. I'll Encore you. Drain Punch you. Yep, Torkoal does switch. Okay. And it's going to be Lilligant as the final one. Okay. So Slowpoke is Encored. We get Drain Punch off into Lilligant. And they'll have to heal Pulse. The main interesting debate is what happens next turn. Because you could obviously switch this out now into Torkoal. I think I want to switch an Instant here. And just Drain Punch into Lilligant. Get the Intimidate off. Try to just knock out Lilligant. If they switch in Torkoal, then I can just fake out Drain Punch Torkoal, KO that. Okay. Yep, there's the switch. Torkoal comes out. See what they go for. Oh my goodness. That was not what I was expecting at all. Really risky to go for a Psych Up with a 1 HP Pokemon, honestly, but I like the ambition. I think they were probably hoping that I would target the Slowpoke slot with like a Freeze Dry or like double up onto that, but yeah, Lilligant was the very clear threat there, so I am now down to click Fake Out into... I think we just get the knockout with Drain Punch here, so I think we can just Fake Out into Slowpoke. Drain Punch into Torkoal. Okay. Yep, that gets the KO. Nice. So Torkoal faints. And I wasn't sure if Drain Punch would have gotten the KO without the U-turn recovery or U-turn damage that we had earlier, so that's why I went for it. They flinch, perfect. And now we can just knock off into you and Rage Fist into you. So, yeah. What a fun battle here with the most random Eviolite users, my opponent having Slowpoke and then me having Primeape here. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to actually get the Primeape strategy activated in this game with Trick Room going up, but I think the upside of this matchup is that their team indexed really heavily around Torkoal, and Slowpoke is not a big damage dealer, right? Neither is Electabuzz, and having the taunt was really valuable. Being able to actually get rid of that Mentor was huge. In my head, I was like, oh, surely Electabuzz has Eviolite, but I didn't think about the fact that they also had Slowpoke on the field, so obviously only one of those two Pokemon can have Eviolite, but being able to taunt Electabuzz and basically like they wasted the first turn of Trick Room, right, where they had to hard switch into Torkoal and I was able to get the Primeape activated, and then when you have Fake Out support and your opponent doesn't get that much value out of that first turn of Trick Room, it's a lot easier to stall out. So we were able to effectively stall it out. The Psych Up was absolutely wild. I was thinking their win con was either like a crit close combat or hitting a Sleep Powder onto us, but Psych Up just meant like, yeah, they couldn't do any damage and we just knocked them out immediately. It's also just a fascinating move because it's not something I've actually seen on Hisuian Lilligant before, and it makes me wonder then if it actually was Weakness Policy Torkoal with Surf, because that's what I thought initially. But So yeah, I'm wondering if the psych up is to copy like their own boosts on that team, or it's to just copy other boosts on the opposing side. Either way though, that was one crazy game. This is the team that I just featured on the channel, built by 2017 World Champion Ryota Otsubo. So if you want to see me pilot the team I'm going up against, check out the video down below. Of course, it features Eviolite, Dual Wing Beat Scyther, as well as Custap Berry Snorlax with Belly Drum. So what do I want to lead with here? Low-key think Meowscarada plus Primeape works here. If you go with the, let's say the Indeedee Snorlax, sorry, Indeedee plus, yeah, Indeedee Snorlax route, I could just taunt on turn 1. Taunt on turn 1 while going for knockoff as well. And then Steel Terra. Does that work? I could also just bring out Ninetales. Ninetales would allow me to Aurora Veil. I'm down for Incin in the back. And then for the last one, I could bring Ninetales. It gives me Spread Blizzard. But I think I prefer Archaludon here, because with Power Herb, I can just, like, and Sturdy, I can soak up an attack. Either way, excited to fight against it. Yeah, I'm mainly curious what lead my opponent wants to commit to. Because having Taunt on the Primeape is a big deal. What if I just went for Flower Trick into Drain Punch? They're going to always follow me, I think, with Snorlax, so yeah. Steel Terra should be a nightmare for this Snorlax to deal with, so that's what I'm really going to want to leverage. Yeah, so my play here is knock off turn 1 into you. Taunt. And they go for follow me, which is expected. Yep. There's knockoff. Okay. I also wonder if I could have just knocked out Indeedee and then turn 2 when Snorlax tries to, you know, go for its big move. I think here, I mean, what do you want to do now? Rock Slide? I don't want Trick Room getting set up, so I think the play I want to make is switch in Incin right now. Steel Terra. Drain Punch. Their Custap is going to activate. I don't think they're going to protect this turn, so I could also just Drain Punch this, but I'm not even sure if that's a knockout. I'd rather get rid of Indeedee here. Okay, Custap activates, but we know about that. We're going to pivot out. Oh, they can't set up Trick Room because I taunted you. So Indeedee probably just switches. It could go for Psychic as well. Yeah, they pivot. Into Farigiraf, that makes sense. Okay. Here's my Steel Terra. Honestly, the dream right now would be for them to click Rock Slide. They knock out my Incineroar, and then I just get a free switch in back out into the Meowscarada, and then I just Flower Trick. I think it may have been okay to Drain Punch Snorlax this turn. They do just opt for Rock Slide here, yeah. Okay, it does KO my Incin, which is what we want. Nice. Drain Punch comes out into Farigiraf. Okay, works for me. Because now I can go for the Flower Trick play, as I mentioned. So let's bring you back out. And now each move they target the Primeape with also just stacks my Rage Fist, which is awesome. I would go for a knockoff. I'm just actually not 100% on KOing this, and that would feel really bad. So let's get this activated and just Drain Punch. Nice. Snorlax protects. Having used this team, unfortunately, I know that Steel and Terra and Steel Pokemon in general are just a huge nightmare for it, so now I get my Primeape activated. I think the main debate is, since I knew I taunted Indeedee, whether or not I should have just like Drain Punch Snorlax that turn. Especially if I was going to commit to Psychic Terra there. But yeah, plus Extreme Punch just gets the knockout now. Perfect. The only thing I'd probably be worried about from this point onwards would be Lilligant, but if they have, for example, Torkoal in the back... Torkoal in the back, we're still not guaranteed the win, but I could just Protect and then Flower Trick into Snorlax. Or I could Protect Knockoff, but it's just going to be Indeedee coming out. Okay. I think with that, then, they can't win here, because I can just go for... Well, you should always knock off to remove a item, potential Eviolite or, yeah, Charcoal. So knock off here. You have no ghost types. I can just knock off Drain Punch. Yeah, and my opponent recognizes there's not much they can do. So, cool. The Steel Terra is huge. That team indexes so heavily on the surprise of Snorlax plus Custap Berry, so knowing that I had Steel Terra, knowing I had Taunt, and knowing that, like, if you're leading in the Snorlax, you're probably going to go follow me into Belly Drum, and the Taunt on the Primeape was absolutely huge for us here in stopping that. Yeah, I think my main question was just whether or not Drain Punch would have KO'd Snorlax, but I figured with Incineroar as a switch in here, forcing the Indeedee out, getting some free damage onto whatever's coming in is not bad. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it would have been like, I think the other upside is like a +5 Snorlax actually isn't that scary for Primeape with Steel Terra. And so like, I was worried about the reality where I KO the Snorlax, but then they get Trick Room up somehow, and then Torkoal comes out under Trick Room and sweeps me. And so, yeah, I do wonder what their final Pokemon is. I would guess that it was Torkoal. But the reality is, with that team, you need to get a big Custap turn off. And if you don't KO the main threat, you need to get Trick Room up. And with them not being able to knock out my Primeape, with us having Steel Terra, and them not being able to set up Trick Room, just put us in really, really good shape. But very fun to go up against the team that we just featured. Okay, we've got Rain here. Pelipper, Archaludon, Primarina, Gholdengo, Rillaboom, Sneasler. Ninetales for weather control is good. Power of Archaludon's interesting. Could go just Meowscarada plus Primeape. Meowscarada being able to knock off in this matchup I think is pretty nice. Dragonite is good into Sneasler, good into Pelly, not really good into everything else. It's tough because, like, I actually kind of want to bring Incineroar into this matchup. Because it's actually good into Gholdengo, Rilla, Sneasler. But I'm down for Meowscarada, Primeape lead, Ninetales in the back. Archaludon I think would be a logical fourth option here. Especially since we do have that Aura Sphere. Alright, I'll go with Archaludon. It's weird to like want to bring Instant into a Rain matchup, but us having Assault Vest makes me feel more comfortable with it, because I can use it for pivoting, Fake Out, U-turn, and it's actually quite good into Sneasler, Rilla, as well as the Gholdengo. Into Sneasler, obviously they can close combat us, but I think being able to intimidate Sneasler is quite nice. Because one of the things you have to think about when you use the Primeape is that if you Steel Terra, obviously you become really weak to fighting type damage. And Rillaboom these days often carry high horsepower as well, so ground type damage from that, for example. But ultimately, Archaludon just has so much offensive pressure here, I think it's probably the better call. And speaking of where Instant would be a good switch in, this would have been a great spot for it. We're going to go Rilla plus the Sneasler, okay. Oh, it's Grassy Seed Sneasler. Interesting. So you're not Focus Sashed. I lean towards just double protecting here on turn 1, but I think I'm a little bit spooked already. The next turn I could go like Terra, Primeape, Self, Flower Trick, Drain Punch, but if they just close combat Primeape, it'd be really bad. I also wonder if I get to all the boosts, whether or not Drain Punch KOs Sneasler. I know against like the Sash variants, I've been able to just get it down to 1 HP, but with them having a defense boost here and potentially just being bulkier by nature of Grassy Seed, might be tougher. Dragonite Instant would have been a really good lead into this because it pressures Fake Out plus Scale Shot. They're gonna Dire Claw. Okay. Dire Claw, Wood Hammer. That's fine by me. I'm just scared about this next turn. I'm hoping they just make the same play again. Because I want to go Flower Trick into you. Terra. Drain Punch. I think I want to Drain Punch the Sneasler. The main reason why I'm prioritizing Sneasler so much here is because I actually don't have very good damage into it. It outpaces my entire team with that Grassy Seed. And I didn't bring Instant into this matchup, so Sneasler is tougher to deal with. The idea here is, even if I don't KO you, I ideally bring you low enough where a Sucker Punch from Meowscarada will finish you off. But there's still a lot that can go wrong for us here, right? Like, they could just Dire Claw, like, Para or Sleep us, which would be really terrifying. Ideally, it's Dire Claw no status condition, but Dire Claw Poison is also fine. Oh, they just close combat instead. Okay. I'll gladly take that. No chance of status conditions. They might have been worried about, like, a Terra there. But now with that defense drop, I think I should KO the Sneasler. So, Self-Flower Trick here is going to hurt, especially with the grassy terrain being up, but that's okay. Because the key thing here is that we'll just be able to Drain Punch and heal all the way back up. Okay, attack is maxed out. +6 Drain Punch into Sneasler now. Does not get the KO. Okay, even with that defense drop. So this was my fear. But we do have Sucker Punch into you now if you Wood Hammered. Ooh, they did Wood Hammer into Meowscarada though. Okay. Now the game gets very interesting. If we had gotten that KO, I'd feel like I'd be in amazing shape, but by not getting that KO, I'm a little bit more scared now. I'm going to bring out the Archaludon, I think. Since I have the Sturdy, I think what I want to do here is just Electro Shot into Sneasler and protect with the Primeape. I mean, I think if you're my opponent, you've got to be scared about Primeape. In the end, I do think Incineroar was probably the correct bring just for this scenario, but it was Grassy Seed Sneasler I didn't anticipate. But it looks like they're not protecting, which is good. Okay, cool. They just close combat into this slot. I was worried about Grassy Glide, like, doubling up into that slot. I could have had a huge turn here if I just Drain Punch, but I really didn't want to risk Primeape fainting here. Because Sneasler is by far the biggest threat. Once we clear that, Primeape is quite good into the rest of my opponent's team. Okay, so there's the Power Herb. That gets the KO. The reason I went for this, by the way, was to just get that special attack boost so that if my Archaludon survives the turn, I've got an advantage against whatever comes out. They actually doubled up into that slot with the U-turn, which was a really nice play. And they've read into the targeting really well. And it's scary because I just protected, so now with Rilla coming back out, you do pressure with Fake Out immediately. But they bring out Pelipper. Okay, fine by me. That's actually huge for them to bring that out, because now I can just win the Weather War first by bringing out Ninetales. Yeah. And they bring Rillaboom out. Okay, cool. So you can Fake Out here into either slot. I have Freeze Dry, Pressure. I'm actually thinking about Aurora Veil. Because at this point, I don't see how they like cleared the Primeape very easily. So the play I want to make here is actually Aurora Veil and Drain Punch into Rillaboom. Okay, we're going to Fake Out into the Ninetales slot. If Drain Punch just gets the KO, then I actually win the Weather War, and that would be amazing. Ah, it survives with the Sliver as well. It's fine, though. Okay, they're going to Tailwind now. Presumably you would Hammer into the Ninetales slot and switch Pelipper out. I might survive Wood Hammer with the defense boost though, actually. So I'm thinking Aurora Veil here. What do we think their last one is? Archaludon or Gholdengo? It could be Primeape as well. I want to Aurora Veil personally. and Rage Fist. Yep, they switch. It's Gholdengo. Nice. Okay, so Rage Fist goes into that slot. Oh, they're going to Terra. Interesting. Terra the Rilla. Into grass. Are you wood hammering? Because if so, you obviously faint. Okay, I'll take that. So Ninetales faints, but you lose the Rillaboom and you lose your Terra. And I think the Primeape should win a 1v1 against the Pelipper. Rilla faints. The question is whether or not Rage Fist KOs here, because I only have 2 stacks. But it's +6. I feel like it really should KO. Nice. Okay, so we are in a 1v1 into Pelipper now, but weather is slowly expiring. No more terrain. I have Drain Punch. Pelipper presumably has Focus Sash, but no ability to Terra at this point. The main thing we're worried about is Hurricane Confusion into full Confusion. 5 turns of Rain, 2 turns of Tailwind. I'm happy to just protect this turn. Okay. They go for Weather Ball. I should survive Weather Ball. I mean, we should always be faster than the Pelipper, so... Oh, unless they're Scarfed. Is there anything that revealed whether or not they're Scarfed? Because we just saw Fake Out Tailwind, and then they just switched. So I think I'm fine going for Rage Fist here. Because there's no way Weather Ball KOs me. I mean, if you're not Scarfed, then we obviously get 2 hits to KO you. Yep, that does just under 100. Now we get another stack on the Rage Fist. And they are sashed. Cool. I wanted to cover for Scarf because it would feel bad if I, like, Drain Punch and they actually survived. But it's like the recovery isn't necessary, right? And now I can just Rage Fist again, knowing that we're faster. Beautiful. Oh, what a game with Primeape. That was so fun. We were able to... Even though my opponent had 2 really scary survivals in this game, and they made the really nice double-up play onto the Archaludon, having the Ninetales as the last one was really perfect for us. And so, yeah, the key thing in this game is that we were able to get the Primeape activated, and yeah, despite some really clutch survivals, like, if we had gotten those knockouts a little bit quicker, it would have been huge, and I think the really key turn was being able to snipe Gholdengo as it switched in. I was also surprised my opponent committed the Terror onto the Rillaboom, but it made sense because I guess they just really wanted to trade Ninetales for Rillaboom and thought they could win the 2v1 with the Pelipper and the Gholdengo. And if I had gone for Drain Punch onto Lapelli slot rather than Rage Fist, then that would have worked as well. So it's a play that definitely makes sense to me. But yeah, being able to snipe Gholdengo as it switched in was huge because I knew that I would win the 1v1 against Pelipper as long as they didn't get like Hurricane Confusion or a big critical hit. So Primeape was just an absolute monster in that one, and I'm so happy about its performance. Garchomp Titaramungus feels like 2013, and then we've got Primarina, Gholdengo, Murkrow. Murkrow's scary because of Haze. You can just get rid of my boosts immediately. Because I see Murkrow, I'm actually looking at the Archaludon to be able to just like threaten it with Electro Shot. I could be Incin Archaludon here because I could just fake out Electro Shot, which I kind of like. Ninetales gives me Blizzard. Mankey's still not bad here, though. So I think I want to go Meowscarada Mankey in the back. If we had Freeze Dry on Ninetales, I think I'd probably be more excited about it. But its matchup into T-Tar is not great. They might not even bring T-Tar, though. I don't do much into Primarina. I'm gonna lock this in. The risk here is I am gonna struggle a little bit into the Tyranitar with Meowscarada if the Sash is broken, right? I think like one of the beautiful things about the Meowscarada on this team is being able to hang on for multiple turns. It's gonna be Primarina and Amoonguss. Okay. This is a little bit scary, I would say. I wonder if it's just double protect on turn 1. I think I want to go fake out into a Moongus and Electroshot into it. Because I think Primarina here probably protects or switches out. A double protect makes sense, but I'm happy to get a special attack boost onto Archaludon. And then I can just try to... Yeah, so there's the protect, nice. I'm guessing it's a double protect here, but let's see. And then I can Flash Cannon Flare Blitz Amoongus next turn. No protect on Amoongus. My fear now is that it's Covert Cloak if they're making this play. To which I could have just Flare Blitz Electroshotted, actually. Maybe I should have done that. Okay. Okay, it's not Covert Cloak. Nice. Then what do I want to do? Flare Blitz. Could be Water Terra Moongus, which would be the problem. I do have Grass Terra. Grass Terraing this means I can't like Terra Mankey, but honestly I don't think it's very easy to get value out of Mankey in this one, so the play I'm leaning towards is Grass Terra, knock off into you, protect this turn. But Amoongus switches, so doesn't want to commit the Terra there. I was hoping they'd go like Water Terra this turn. T-Tar switches in though, which I'm fine by. I can just Aura Sphere you now. Okay, Sturdy's still active. You'll probably go for Hyper Voice. This next turn I can U-turn out. Meowscarada's strong offensively right now. I want to see the speed interaction between Primarina and Instant. If Primarina is faster than Instant, then I can U-turn safely out into Mankey, but it looks like they're slower. Not Mankey. I keep calling it Mankey. Primeape. Sand Weather Ball. That's really cute. I like that a lot. But with Assault Vest, it still doesn't really do too much. Okay. I'm definitely going to click Aura Sphere into you. Primarina is pretty scary, but Meowscarada is good in the endgame against it. I don't need to U-turn here, honestly. I think I can knock off here. Or actually, I want to Flare Blitz, I think. Aura Sphere. Well, knockoff would be valuable into Primarina if we just one-shot this. So never mind. I think I will knock off Aura Sphere. Okay, Primarina switches. Nice. Back out into Amoongus. Yep. No Terra. Beautiful. Aura Sphere one-shots Tyranitar. Excellent. And we get knockoff off. What item are we removing? Citrus. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was expecting Water Terra the turn that they had Amoongus out in front of Instant plus Archaludon. We still have our Sturdy intact, which is really nice. If I'd gone for the Flare Blitz play I was talking about, though, I wonder if we may have just knocked out Amoongus. Garchomp comes out. Fine by me. Let's see. Sand now is off the field, which is actually very good for a potential endgame with these two. Wonder if Amoongus protects or Terras here. Amoongus switching, Garchomp protecting is one possible play. I think I'm leaning towards knockoff plus Flash Cannon into Amoongus. Cool, they make the switch, yep. And since I have Sturdy on Archaludon, I know I can take one attack this turn. Unfortunately, we don't have Dragon Pulse, so it would be nice in this spot. They're going to commit Terra, okay. Let's see what Terra it is. Steel, Ground. Fire, okay. Fire works for me. Stomping Tantrum, maybe? I don't know my Poison Jab calcs very much, but if you're a Poison Jab, you're normally going to be Assault Vest or Choice Banded. I don't know which of the items my opponent is here. Oh, it's Life Orb. Okay. Well, thankfully that answers my question. Oh, that does so much in a Primarina. Nice. Gets a special defense drop, but it looks like we were going to get a knockout anyway after Sandstorm. I can now bring out Meowscarada. If I bring Mankey out... Yeah, I think a Meowscarada is better. Okay. It's 2 turns of Sand, though, which I guess is the downside. Primarina probably wants to consider protecting or switching. I'm leaning towards Knock Off into you and Aura Sphere into you. And if they make the call and stay in with Primarina and attack, I was going to say that would be a really amazing play. The reason I'm down for this is because I know I have Taunt with Primeape in this endgame. Okay, Rough Skin activates, but we get rid of your Life Orb. I think you have to target Primarina here. Yeah. Sorry, not Primarina. Oh, we actually survive on 1, wow. But Aura Sphere now gets the KO. Cool. And now I get the Primeape out. And Primeape can be used to taunt into Amoonguss, which is huge. That turn maybe it would have been safer to protect and Aura Sphere. But I wanted to say, hey, look, like maybe you target the Archaludon slot with Stomping Tantrum. And if you do that, then Meowscarada survives the turn, and that just helps us win the game. So in this game, I couldn't really get the Primeape activated, but it's okay, because it's actually still pretty valuable in this endgame just for pure support perspective. Last turn of Sand. Yeah, we've got Taunt here, so I'm going to Taunt into you. And Flash Cannon into you. I think you have to Rage Powder here, basically. If you don't Rage Powder, obviously we just knock out the Primarina. But I want to... and they don't Rage Powder. Okay, cool. Nice. So, yeah, like, I'm fine making this play, because if you don't make go for Rage Powder, we just win the game on the spot, thanks to Taunt on the Primeape. Amazing. They may have been hoping that I would just, like, target the Amoonguss down there, ignore Primarina for the turn, and, yeah, try to solve Poplin Puff instead. But... like, this play is always really safe to make, right? Because with Taunt, there's nothing to worry about. The worst case is you protect, maybe, but then I just KO this. That's not even the worst case. What's the worst case? Rage Powder, Flash Cannon goes into this, Moonblast special attack drop here, maybe. But that just guarantees us the win now, so we can just Rage Fist and Flash Cannon. So I'm glad to feature a game where we use Primeape, but not necessarily for the main strategy of activating its attack. In this game, it was just super relevant, thanks to... being able to boost up, being able to taunt in this end game. They went with the Amoonguss plus Primarina as the lead, so, like, honestly, I think maybe we could have gone with the Primeape plus the Meowscarada turn, but, like, the awkward thing is I'd be up against 2 Pokemon that resist Drain Punch really nicely. Normally, with the Primeape, what you want to do is be able to Drain Punch reliably, and in this matchup, they had Gholdengo, they had Amoonguss, they had Murkrow, so I didn't want to index too heavily on Primeape, and I felt like this was not the best matchup to just, like, try to send it on turn 1. And in the end, I'm pretty happy. Like, we didn't bring Ninetales. With them being Fire Terra Garchomp and me not having Freeze Dry, I think, like, Ninetales was just a weaker pick overall. And, you know, they didn't bring Murkrow or Gholdengo, but both of those also, I think, make Ninetales kind of sad, because Gholdengo can just make it rain into us, and Murkrow can change the weather as well. So, yeah. But overall, I feel like we got a fair number of reads right, which was great, and we were able to showcase, like, a different mode of using the Primeape in the endgame just as disruption for Taunt. Okay, we've got Classic Rain here, Pelipper, Basket Legion, Archaludon, King Gambit, Sneasler, Amoonguss. So, a lot of big threats. What do I want to lead with? Meowscarada. I think they'll probably try to play towards Sneasler. I'm thinking about Scale Shot Dragonite. It's good into Sneasler, good into Basket Legion. What if I just went Meowscarada plus Primeape in this one? What do I lose to? Sneasler lead already becomes a little bit scary. That's the main thing. You also just pressure me with, like, powerful damage with, like, Basket Legion. Although I don't think you lead Basket into this team. It could be Gambit Amoonguss, which I think would be kind of scary. But with that, I could Taunt. So I could actually lead this just because of Taunt. Meowscarada back. Ninetales is the 4th. Do I even bring Ninetales in this? I know it's a rain matchup. But I'm actually crazily enough thinking about dropping it. Because I want Archaludon in this matchup. Okay, I think the truth is we actually should be probably dropping Primeape in this one for Archaludon. And we just don't bring Primeape in because it's not consistent enough. But we never going to play with this Pokemon. So I'd rather just see how I can function with it in this game. But yeah, I think it's like Ninetales, Dragonite, Archaludon. Definitely more consistent into Rain overall. It's going to be Gambit plus Sneasler, which I actually don't mind very much. The question is I don't know what kind of Gambit set this is. They could just fake out turn 1. I could just protect. I really want to get rid of the Sneasler though. It's just such an annoying Pokemon to deal with. I'm thinking about just Scale Shotting here and Drain Punching turn 1. Okay, they fake out into Primeape. If they Swords Dance, I can just haze away the boost, which is really funny. Yeah, this Dragonite is this is exactly why I wanted to bring this into the matchup to get rid of Sneasler. And honestly, now that I'm like I have Archaludon in the back, or I don't have Archaludon in the back, I'm like I think it would have been better than Ninetales. Show me Swords Dance. Speed boost. I'm just gonna haze next turn. Okay. Let's see what they bring out. I could Skill Shot again. Honestly, with them bringing Pelipper out, low key, I'm like maybe I do want to, but they could Tailwind here. Haze is not a bad move to go for. Like the other play I'm thinking about is doubling up onto this. This probably wants to Terra Protect. I don't want to Terra this, I think. Yeah, I'm done a Haze Drain Punch. Okay, Gambit protects. So the double up play on a Peli would have probably just KO'd it and given me a huge advantage. But here, if you knock out my Primeape and you give me a free switch in, so I don't even mind that too much. But I could have leaned a little bit more into aggression here. I also thought about Haze plus Taunt, because they might Tailwind here, but it's just Hurricane, yeah. Okay, we survived that too. Cool. Confusion is a little stressful, but it's fine. I'm gonna Skill Shot into you now. I'm wondering if they Sucker Punch here, because I could switch into Ninetales for free. But I think I'd rather force them to Sucker Punch me. Archaludon would have been so much better in the back for me here, though, honestly, over Meowscarada or the Ninetales. So, because my Pokemon selection wasn't perfect in this one, despite, like, a pretty good turn 1 and a decent turn 2, we're still, like, not in just clear winning position yet. Okay, we get them to Terra, though, which I think is good. It also might mean that they're tearing the Gambit and just targeting the Dragonite, which would be awesome. But the reason why tearing this is huge is because now you're vulnerable to Flower Trick, Scale Shot, as well as Blizzard. Okay, it is going to be Sucker. Okay, fine by me. I don't mind that too much. I wanted to, you know, force them to target me here. And this way now I get a free switch in, which is good. Cool, we get Scale Shot. Nice. 2, 3. Bulky Pelipper here. 4. Yep, as you can see, Citrus Berry. if Pelipper has like no investment, 5 hits of Skill Shot can actually KO it. So people have been investing a little bit of HP to try to survive, but you can see, yeah, this is a very different variant. That also explains why Hurricane didn't KO us. Okay. I can bring out the Ninetales now. What do we think here? They switch Pelipper out, maybe? Nah, we don't have Freeze Dry, which is unfortunate. It would be a really good move to have here. I want to switch into Meowscarada here. Ice Terra, Blizzard. The question is whether or not they go for Wide Guard this turn. I could see Pelly just switching out. Yep. Oh, Gambit switches. Okay. Into Archaludon. That works for me. Cool. Well, I think Ninetales is very well positioned offensively right now, but if I could replay this game, I definitely would be bringing Archaludon somewhere in the game. Because Aura Sphere Archaludon and Electro Shot just so good in this spot. There's Ice Terra. No Wide Guard. Okay, nice. But I don't know if this KOs Pelipper with them being as bulky as they are. Crits them, though, so the answer is that'll definitely get the KO. And we, unfortunately, freeze them. Oh, really lucky turn for me there. Honestly, though, it would come down to what Pelipper was going for. I think Tailwind is the only move that works for them there if they're bulky enough to survive. Because if it's not Tailwind, like, yeah, the freeze is unfortunate, but I can always just knock off to get rid of the Assault Vest and then Blizzard them the next turn, right? So, definitely unfortunate turn, though. But yeah, now I can just knock you off in Blizzard. And they end up forfeiting. I wish we could have played this game without the crit or the freeze. I don't think the freeze was relevant. I think the crit was, I think they may have been trying to go for a Tailwind there. And then the question is, if you get that Tailwind up, where do we go from here, right? Because Archaludon then threatens with Flash Cannon, but the Pelipper is probably slower than Meowscarada, right? And if you can't, and Ninetales might be even faster than Pelipper, even with Tailwind up, so yeah, then I can just still like knock off Blizzard the next turn. But one of the things that makes Ninetales so strong is that it is fast, and every time you click Blizzard, you have the chance to crit, you have the chance to freeze. But that was obviously a very low probability turn for me, and yeah, I didn't think I needed the freezes necessarily, but it then comes down to the amount of special attack investment Archaludon has. Can you one-shot me with Flash Cannon? How much speed investment Pelipper has? Like, I felt like I was still in decent shape there. They also, I bet, were trying to bait, like, Scale Shot into the King Gambit slot, trying to get those stamina boosts for free. But since we had knockoff plus Blizzard pressure, like, I felt okay. But yeah, I'm really curious what Pelipper was clicking that turn, because if it was anything other than Tailwind, I think I was totally fine. And I think if it was Tailwind, then they definitely would still be in the game, but it would still be kind of even. Okay, we have Superior Gallade Salamence, Milotic, Excadrill, Tyranitar. Fun team. Primeape does a lot. It's interesting though, because Salamence was actually mentioned as one of the scary Pokemon for this team to deal with. Probably want Ninetales. Honestly, I probably want Archaludon. Loaded Ice Dragonite. If I had Low Kick, I'd probably be more intrigued. Don't love the Excadrill matchup with it. Kind of down for Meowscarada, Primeape, Ninetales, Dragonite, or sorry, Archaludon. Instin's not bad here, but my problem is it's like I'd be bringing it into the physical attackers, right? But like Excadrill, T-Tar, and Gallade all have good matchups into us, and normally Clearing Amulet's going to be on one of Gallade or Excadrill anyway. So Instin's actually not as valuable, and if they have my Milotic, I would give it a competitive boost. So let's see what they go with. Milotic Salamence, okay. I would guess that they're going to want to Terra the Milo. I'm leaning towards just... Whoops, not Terra this. Flower Trick into you. Terra this. Drain Punch. The Intimidate isn't really relevant. Terra's Steel does make me a little bit weak to T-Tar Exca specifically. I honestly want to knock out Salamence, especially because I think Milotic's caught in a pretty bad spot, so I'm down to Flower Trick here, Terra Rage Fist. The dream would be Milotic protects on turn 1, but there is a fair bit that can go wrong for us here. Because I don't know what kind of Salamence set this is. Like, Choice Specs Heatwave Fire Terra Salamence is a thing, although they're not tearing here on turn 1. Oh, wow. Milo does not protect or Terra, meaning that they just left it exposed to a turn 1 Flower Trick, which I'm actually really surprised by. Salamence sets up Tailwind, okay. It's just going to be Scald onto us. Okay. Well, now I get a 2-stack Rage Fist off. Should KO Salamence. Could be worse. But Tailwind is scary, especially without Incineroar in this game. And I didn't really have a way to deny it either. They were guaranteed that speed control. Excadrill now comes out. Okay. I mean, with Excadrill out, I'm leaning towards just protecting this, targeting Excadrill. This beats Tyranitar and Milotic in the long run. So knock off, remove Excadrill's item. I don't know what it's going to be carrying. I wonder if Flower Trick Sucker Punch does it. No Flower Trick protect here. Here's the Terra, okay. Milo Terra is what I would expect. Excadrill Terras, wow. Into Poison. Wow, I could have gone for knockoff there. Maybe I should have. I didn't know what Terra would even want to consider running. That's a great Terra by them. They have Haze, which makes sense. It's not a shocking move. I'm actually interested that Milo has so much more speed investment than Exca. Oh, Flower Trick still does a good bit there. Okay. So if they didn't Terra, yeah, that into Sucker Punch definitely would have KO'd. But I haven't really seen Poison Terra on Excadrill, so it kind of comes as a surprise. High horsepower. I think we just give this up. Now that I don't have boosts on this anymore, I don't even do very much with it. Archaludon beats Milo in the long run. We really want to clear Excadrill. I think I'm okay going for knockoff into this and Rage Fist into it. Okay, they go for Ice Beams. Ice Beam, Scald, Haze, makes sense. And high horsepower, that works for me. They split their damage, which is fine. Okay, Primeape faints. It's Life Orb as well. Okay. Knockoff should KO now, right? Yep. I can bring out the Archaludon now. The question is what their final one is, because I would guess Tyranitar. But Power Herb Archaludon with that Electro Shot and Sturdy should be really strong in this endgame. And it is T-Tar, perfect. Okay. Then I think I can just double protect here. And then just Flower Trick T-Tar, Electro Shot into Milotic. Right? 5 turns of Sand, last turn of Tailwind. Got Ninetales in the back, which is also good for Blizzard, but not the strongest. Dragonite probably would have been better. Instant would have been kind of a liability. But yeah, I think here I'm happy to just double protect. I think Archaludon should just win from this angle. They actually protect with Tyranitar as well, so it's not Assault Vested, okay? We saw Life Orb, Poison Terra on Excadrill. Don't know what item T-Tar has yet. Double Protect comes out. Yep, and just Ice Beam into Meowscarada. Cool. And now this should just be a double KO, I think. I'm just surprised they left Milotic in front of a Meowscarada this entire game. It's leftovers. Leftovers, so Scald, Ice Beam, Haze, Recover is my guess. It doesn't have Protect. But I can just Flower Trick now. Electroshot here. And then I think a Ninetales Blizzard honestly probably finishes things off even if we don't knock out either Pokemon. But Overgrow is active on Meowscarada, right? So I think this should KO. Yeah, beautiful. Sweet. Tar Faints. And now we get the power of Electroshot off as well. Cool. I think what was really key in this game was that they didn't get like that much out of Tailwind ultimately. And them splitting their damage and spending a turn just to haze away my boost was big. I think Meowscarada not getting doubled up into was huge as well because it's so good offensively into my opponent's comp. And yeah, that's just a one-hit KO onto both. Sick. But we got Primeape off in this one. I wasn't expecting to get the Flower Trick strat, but it ended up working out pretty well for us here. So I'll take it. Not bad. And I think, yeah, Instant, I was just really scared about bringing into the matchup. Like, even though on paper it looks good, they have T-Tar, Exca, like, being able to intimidate all these physical attackers. I think, like, if Milotic is out on the field at any given point and was on the field for quite a while, Instinct can just give it a free boost, and you never want to give Milo a free boost. Especially, that set seemed like it was a little bit speedier and more offensive. Okay, we've got Gholdengo, Gengar, Dragonite, Ursaluna, Archaludon, and Whimsicott here. What do I want to lead with? Whimsicott and Dragonite are problem Pokemon, and honestly so is Gengar. Like, it's probably Covert Cloak, Whimsicott. It could be Specs Gengar here, low-key, because they have two Steel types, so it could be Specs like Stellar Gengar with Sludge Wave. Multi-Steel Dragonite. I'm pretty scared here because we won't be able to stall out Tailwind, or like, we won't be able to deny Tailwind, I should say. So I would expect a Whimsicott lead. And if it's Sturdy or Archaludon as well, it's like it's really hard to get one-hit KOs onto anything, which is scary. Huh. I think Ninetales not having... Like, I feel like in a matchup like this, I probably want to go Meowscarada, Dragonite, Instant, Archaludon. But I also want to keep bringing this. Alright, I'm going to go Meowscarada, Primeape, Archaludon, Instant. But I think Tailwind is already kind of spooky, and I think here the combination of a lot of Focus Sashes, not a lot, like one Focus Sash plus Sturdy plus Multiscale is scary, which is funny because our team actually has all of those as well, but they have Tailwind. Gholdengo, Whimsicott. Okay. In the grand scheme of things, that's probably one of the better leads we could have run into. My guess is they just steal Terra Gholdengo. Tailwind, make it rain. Huh. Tailwind, make it rain. I could switch Instant in. Protect. Yeah, I'm down for that. I thought about honestly Drain Punching Gholdengo. Like, self-Flower Trick and just Drain Punch and say, you know what, you're going to steal Terra here, because otherwise you're at risk of getting Sucker Punched. But if they Terra here, I'm totally okay with this outcome. Okay, it is a Terra. Man, that would have been kind of a sick play to make. But I don't know if it's going to be Steel here. I would guess so if it's a Whimsicott. Yeah. But then I also don't know if like Steel Terra Specs Makey Rain just KOs me after Flower Trick. And the good thing is now like I can pressure that slot with Flare Blitz this next turn. Yep. There's Tailwind. Make it rain. Comes out. Okay. Definitely Specs. This could have Encore, but I have Steel Terra here, so I'm thinking we just go Flare Blitz now. I mean, I have Fake Out as well, but this is probably Covert Cloak. Gholdengo might switch out. Not a Flare Blitz into Whimsicott. Steel Terra, Drain Punch. Ideally, Gholdengo stays in here, but they do pivot, yeah. Could be Gengar now. Makes sense, because I think they were covering for Fake Out, like a double up onto that slot, but... yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was worth clicking Rage Fist into that slot. Although breaking Gengar's Sash would be a pretty big deal in this matchup. They might just Moonblast me. Okay, it's Encore. That's fine. I get the double protect off, which I actually did not want. It would have been great to not get it, so I could have a better, or like guarantee it the next turn. And it's not Sash on Whims. Yeah, my guess is Sash on Gengar, but it could be... no, Specs is already on Gholdengo. So I don't really know what other item Gengar would want to run here. With Encore, then, I don't really feel that bad about Drain Punching in the end. That was a really safe play by them. We've got Meowscarada, which is good into Gengar in the late game. If I get any chip damage on a Gholdengo. I mean, the problem is just getting Encore right now, because I think I basically have to switch out this slot. It doesn't feel great to switch into any of this. I might even stay in, but then I'm just in such a weird spot. I want to knock off into Gengar. I'm actually going to stay in because I think having Focus Sash and Sturdy on the two Pokemon in the back is really valuable. I don't want to give up either right now. And it's going to be Sludge Wave. Okay. Yep, that's what I was talking about. Electroshot, but who did you Electroshot into? Is it the instant slot? You would think so, right? Which meant that I actually could have switched in Archaludon for free, given that they Sludge Waved. I didn't think they'd Sludge Wave since it doesn't do anything into the Primeape. Yeah, I didn't think they would just give me the opportunity for a free switch in there. But I think it's still okay. We know Specs Gholdengo is their last one. I didn't get the Protect off, so I will get it off this next turn, and then Encore ends. Can bring out... man, I just don't know if they're also Timid max speed, because then it could be a speed tie, which is really spooky. But I do think Archaludon's good to bring out here. So it's the last turn of Tailwind. I can double protect. And then I'm thinking I just Aura Sphere, Drain Punch their Archaludon. KO that. Aura Sphere, Drain Punch, you bring out Gholdengo, and then I just Electroshot, Drain Punch the Gholdengo. And then Meowscarada to deal with Gengar. The main thing is I really want to get a knockout this next turn, but like it's probably Sash and Sturdy, right? Yeah, so they Shadow Ball, Arch, Aura Sphere. Yeah. Really worried about a speed tie right now. Encore ends. Tailwind peters out. Yeah, I'm Aura Sphere you. Drain Punch you. Arch could protect here, which is also spooky. Oh, if double Encore. Wow. Oh, Drain Punch does so much, though. What? Okay. I just get KO'd by that, though. Wow, I was expecting Encore on Whimsicott, wasn't also expecting it on Gengar, but it makes sense. I was thinking they'd want like Sludge Bomb, Shadow Ball, Sludge Wave, Protect. Sometimes you might see Taunt on it as well. That's really nice. Really, really nice. I don't think I can win then. You know this Protect is going to go off this turn, though. The problem is I don't really do damage to Archaludon with Meowscarada. This is one of the problems with it. It's not great into a lot of steel types. I mean, they should always double up onto Meowscarada here, right? I'm going to protect it. Because I need to stall out my own Archaludon Encore right now. I basically accounted for everything other than Gengar having Encore. Wait, it's Sludge Bomb, Sludge Wave, Shadow Ball, Encore. It doesn't have Protect. Oh. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Yeah, Protect again. Knock off into you. I could also have maybe played towards Sucker Punch Critical Hit onto Archaludon. But with this play, if they mess up and they don't double up onto Meowscarada, like they split their damage, I could still win. We failed the double though, okay. Knockoff comes off. Yep, Sash. Encore over Protect is what did it in for me here. That's a great tech. Sludge Bomb comes out. Yep. You should just double up onto that slot. Yeah. Great play. Great play. We actually really had the tools to win this one. Tailwind is always kind of tricky, but man, turn one I was really thinking about the just Drain Punch immediately. That would have been sick. But it was this slot getting Encore that really screwed me over. And now you can just perpetually Encore me. So I guess if for some reason they actually didn't click Encore here, we could actually win, but you should just Encore Aura Sphere. Yeah, exactly. And Gengar's not even that common of a Pokemon in this format, but having that Tech Encore over Protect, which you normally see on this Pokemon, was really what gave my opponent the edge here. So very nicely done. And then this is what I was worried about, right? Like not be able to get one-hit KOs onto anything because of Sturdy on Archaludon as well as Sash on Gengar. So I guess the items correctly, but it was Encore was just too much to deal with in the end. And I don't think Ninetales was the answer in this matchup at all, especially with Ice Terror. It's terrible into Gholdengo, and I don't think Dragonite was either. So I actually think our Pokemon choice was totally fine. Maybe leading Incineroar would have been better, because Instant Lead is amazing into Whimsicott Gholdengo. So I think that would have been maybe the adjustment I would have made. Because I think Assault Vest Instant's actually really solid into their comp. But yeah, the main thing here was I just didn't anticipate Encore from Gengar, and that's, I think, what won my opponent in the game. As well as just making great plays across the board. The turn I stayed in with the Annihilape and protected, that could have been an Archaludon switch in as well. Because then I would have switched in Archaludon, sacrificed Incineroar, gotten the free switch in back out into the Primeape, and then we would have had a little bit more offensive pressure. You can't like one-shot either Pokemon, you have to double up onto a slot, but I think I always was going to protect in front of them, to be honest. Like I was never going to consider Encore on Gengar, and it's an amazing example of how a really great surprise and best of one can catch you off guard. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one, so thank you so much as always for joining me. It was really cool to showcase such a unique strategy in the Meowscarada plus the Primeape, and Primeape honestly put in work in so many of those matches, even when we didn't necessarily get the anchor point activated, and just having it as a bulky Eviolite user with Taunt was very awesome. And so, yeah, very, very fun to feature this combination, especially against some awesome opponents. So thanks to you as always for watching, and I'll see you all next time. All right, peace.